learning space I'm going to describe today, there's a strong emphasis on teaching the art as an appreciation of the aesthetic. This appreciation can not only be integrated into all aspects of the arts, but also all aspects of the curriculum. In this education realm, nothing is given more importance than the relevance and meaning of the work to the student. It is, as Taylor and Andrews describe, a world away from the pupil writing for the teacher's red pen to correct what has been done, with grammatical errors assuming greater significance than relevance and content. I think that primary school teachers are well poised to use visual art, drama, music and dance to be the backbone of supporting the development of an individual who can be in harmony with herself and others. Girard et al., cited in Hobbes, talk about how aesthetic understanding is actually a profound interconnection of conceptual understandings, together with a rich perception of the beauty and influence of ideas that are able to change a person's understanding of the world. This unity can then be applied to future experiences. Our senses exist so that we can interact with the world and process our experience through our innate and aesthetic awareness, which is available to all humans and therefore inclusive. Using the system for making, presenting, responding and evaluating, the teacher of the arts can segue into the aesthetic domain at any point, because there is no beginning or end point set in stone, and all parts are connected to the other parts and can lead the class into the entire circuit. Let me give an example. Let's say students are studying the French Revolution in history. The musical Les Mis can serve as an entry point to not only a study of the aesthetic in the music and drama, but also an opportunity to evaluate the writer's intent and purpose, which is part of the English curriculum. There's a scene in the film where Javert and Jean Valjean meet and both express their worldview. It's a very powerful scene and an opportunity for the students to use language to express their strongly experienced emotions as they respond to the scene. What I like about the aesthetic approach is that in evaluating the text, students are taught that an explanation, analysis or interpretation is no more than a lens to help the responder focus on the text. We criticize so we can see the text more clearly. Also, the DVAE approach teaches the students to judge and respond aesthetically by grounding their criticisms in a knowledge of tradition, awareness of culture and history, and an understanding of craft, together with a toolbox of appropriate critical vocabulary. In the lesson plan package produced by Springfield Museum of Art, the authors describe how, and I quote, there will be disagreement. Controversy is not necessarily contention. Puny little rarefied ideas that everyone agrees on generally are only a cliche of the larger, more grandiose and insightful idea. If students can grasp this concept, then education becomes inclusive and collaborative. Here are some ideas on how to balance studio production with art history, criticism, and aesthetics. Imagine the students listen to The Flight of the Bumblebee by Rimsky-Korsakov. The children have to learn some technical terms such as tempo, crescendo, chromatic, 16th notes, and then using this theoretical knowledge and aesthetic scanning skills that they've been developing since the foundation years, they can respond and evaluate the interlude appropriately. After this response and evaluation, the students can create an artwork that shows this phoneticism and the movement that's evident in Korsakov's piece. Or they could create a dance that shows this or represents the flight of the bumblebee. Perhaps they could be introduced to the dance of the tarantella and explore how this piece expresses tempo and phoneticism. Traditionally, an Aborigine would meditatively listen to the sounds of nature, whether it was the water running or the trees creaking, and he'd mimic these as accurately as he could with his didgeridoo. What an amazing exercise for the students to try. Once the common themes in their artwork are identified, the students use the various art forms to create communication of their ideas. The students can then reflect on their own work and those of the other students with a well-trained lens. The planning of effective arts integrated lessons suggests that teaching follow 5 basic principles. Targeted outcomes must be clear, all possible arts and intelligences must be included, the learning must be accomplished through the arts and supported by teaching through the arts. Students must use reading, writing and math skills in conjunction with the arts and the assessment must fit the mode of presentation. And that comes from Whitwell, cited in Simonet and Mondrick. Teachers need to identify students' readiness, interest, and preferred learning style. If specialist teachers are needed, then there should be resources to accommodate them. Collaboration and group work with mixed ability grouping also allows for inclusivity. Writing a poem based on an inspiring artwork, using the DBE formula to track and scan an artwork would suit a mathematically intelligent child. Finding a piece of music that can communicate the message perceived in the painting would assist a musically intelligent child. Improvising a scene from the painting would work for the physically intelligent child. Reflecting on the emotions evoked by an artwork would help a child who has a strong intrapersonal intelligence. The literature seems to imply that many teachers feel there's no time for the arts as they attempt to complete the curriculum. I hope this presentation has highlighted the idea that perhaps not all art forms can be taught every day, but there's definitely scope for the arts to filter into the life of a primary school, constantly by being practiced on a daily basis, on their own and as a means to enrich all subjects.